Hello and welcome to episode 65 of the Pixel Street Podcast, where each and every week we get together and talk about one of the things we love most, which is video games and Destiny 2. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Joel Campos, and I'm joined by Connor, not a cop.
That's true. I have to legally add that disclaimer. If I don't, I'd get sued. So just here to tell you I'm not a cop.
Yeah, because legally you have to tell people if you are a cop, but you are not. You're not a cop.
It works both ways, you know.
Yeah, he goes both ways. As always, you can email us at pixelstreetpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at pixelstreetpod. And check out our Facebook group, Pixel Street Podcast. We post there quite often. We post a show up there. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Podcast. Still not sure how we can get on Spotify, but I should probably look into that a bit more. You can find the podcast on most platforms on Fridays, other than this week, which we are recording Saturday morning, so it'll probably be up today, this afternoon. And you can find it on YouTube as well. And watch it on our Facebook page. Man, I'm falling apart here. It's early.
We're all over the place. It's fine. It's good.
We enjoy having new people follow our content, and we hope to keep you around. With that in mind, we've decided to run another giveaway once we reach about 100 followers. We'll probably post it close to there on our Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. This week, we are going to be talking about Destiny 2. Only Destiny 2. Nothing else. No. We're going to be talking about some Pokemon news that came out. You can open a Seaman Cafe in The Sims 4 if that's something you're really interested in.
It's actually my lifelong dream.
PUBG is getting an original narrative experience, whatever that may mean.
Ooh, vague.
So yeah, that's coming up soon on the show. But first, we're gonna get into some of the new releases we are excited about. Are you getting Mario Maker 2?
You know, I'm holding off. I kind of want it. I'm just not 100% sure it's for me. I didn't play the first one, so I don't really have anything to go off of. But I will say I'm a little interested to see that they've actually crafted their own campaign and stuff using the tools. That's what kind of kept me away from the first one, is I'm not much of a creator when it comes to that stuff. I just want to play a good experience. So maybe, possibly, probably not.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I never played the first one, mainly because it didn't have that story mode. But now that this one had a story, I decided to pick it up. And when I picked it up from Target yesterday, I actually got a tin lunchbox to go with it. So I'm going to be looking pretty cool walking into the office with that thing. But yeah, and my girlfriend, Mario games are pretty much the only video game she'll play that is not The Sims. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me to pick everyone up so that she'll play it.
Yeah, that makes sense. My fiance is kind of the same way. She's all about that Mario and all about that Zelda, and other video games might as well not exist. So I understand.
Yeah. So that came out yesterday, but other than that, it's looking like a pretty light week, unless you want to play Dream Daddy on your Switch.
I will throw an honorable shout out to... this is next week here, but we're getting pretty close up to the wire. The Stranger Things 3 game is finally coming out July 4th. And then you also have Sea of Solitude on July 5th. That one is one that was shown at Xbox press conference. Man, I guess 2 years ago now? Or a year ago now. So not this past conference, but...
the one before, yeah.
Yeah, that one was shown in pretty heavy detail as a big indie game. So I know a lot of people are excited.
You said that comes July 5th?
Yeah, that's coming out real soon.
Yeah, I remember that. It's got the real cool art style.
Yep.
Yeah, I might have to check that out. I know I was really intrigued by the game when they showed it. But yeah, that's about it coming out the next week. This is kind of the slow season for new releases.
Yeah, we're in that weird period where we're kind of waiting for stuff to trickle out. And we're in that halfway point where, new consoles are right around the corner. Studios are kind of wrapping their things up, and those we'll see in the next year, probably very close to the new consoles.
And this is why Xbox needs to bring back Summer of Arcade.
Ooh, yeah.
I would love that. They could easily do it with Game Pass. Link it to Game Pass somehow, and say, hey, all these indie games, Summer of Arcade is back.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Are there any new backwards compatible games on the Xbox?
No, actually, and we can let this serve as a PSA. The backwards compatible titles that were announced at E3 are the final batch of backwards compatible titles for the Xbox One, stemming from the 360 and the original.
I forgot about that. It's kind of sad, but I mean, they gave us a lot of games, especially considering when the console came out, we didn't think it was backwards compatible at all.
Yeah, I mean, the list is up to about 700 at this point, so they've done a phenomenal job doing that stuff. There are definitely some things that they missed that I would have loved to have seen, but they're refocusing their efforts on making sure that day one, all of your Xbox One content and the stuff that is currently backwards compatible will just work on whatever the next Xbox is. So it is kind of sad, but also there's some great stuff coming out of it. So, I can see why it happened.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I wouldn't put it past them to sometime in the future, like 5-10 years, to revisit this, in some way of adding more games to it. But I think that it's just easier for them right now to say we're done with it, probably because they took that whole team and they moved on to something else for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, sad to see it go, but I'm very glad that it actually ever even happened. I think that's one of the things that helped push Xbox forward from where they were at the time.
Yeah, agreed. That announcement was huge when they first dropped it, and to come this far, 700 titles into it, you definitely can't say that they didn't do it. So,
yeah. Moving on, let's get into the free games of the month. So we're in a weird period. We're at the end of June 29th right now, and they have not announced the July games with gold, which is strange because usually it would have happened like yesterday or Thursday, but we have not heard anything yet. Especially, it's weird because the new games with gold will be available on Monday. Yeah, Monday the 1st.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine that might be a Saturday announcement today. So who knows?
Maybe we'll I wonder if they've got something big up their sleeves, considering July 4th is right around the corner. Maybe they're just kind of holding off to I don't know, finish some deals or whatever. Maybe it's a little more convoluted than normal. I don't know. I just want them to make the announcement, damn it.
Yeah, I know. We need to know. You know what? Maybe it'd be worth me opening Major Nelson's blog.
Ooh,
isn't that where it usually gets posted?
Usually, but he's all the way over on the West Coast, so at the time of recording, he's probably sleeping.
But I mean, I imagine that he has this shit like set to auto post, right?
It's possible. I can't remember the time that he usually posts things. It's I want to say it's like maybe around noonish his time or so.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see. You should know by tomorrow, the latest, as to what games will be free with Xbox. Xbox Game Pass, they're constantly adding new stuff. We tried finding a list for our listeners, but we could not find, because like they just list games that are coming, and it's like, all right, well, are they there, or are they games that are not out yet and are coming day one? It's confusing.
Yeah, it's a little messed up, especially with the roll-in of the Xbox PC Game Pass. Things are a little more convoluted now because it's like, what's coming to what? Is this coming to this? Is this just PC? Is this normal? What are the dates on this? Like, I think they've got a little bit of work there to clean that up, but it does look like there's a plethora of new titles. They said that for Xbox Game Pass PC, there will be 100 titles by the time it fully launches in August. It's kind of in a weird beta state right now, so we should see a ton of titles added for that. And then I do believe there was like 11 indie games announced for it, but like Joel said, we just cannot find a good list to provide you with, so...
Yeah, somebody needs to make a good comprehensive list with dates and stuff. I don't know. Are you aware of the deal for upgrading to Game Pass Ultimate?
I am. I have done it, and it has saved me a lot of money.
Did you like add years of Xbox Live first?
I actually already had years stacked up, so I think I was already paid through to 2021.
Okay,
or
yeah.
2022 rather, and then I converted, and it credited me all the way through the end of 2021. So
Yeah. So if you're unaware, right now Xbox has a deal where you could pay $1 to get 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate, or is that what it's called? Game
yeah,
Pass Ultimate.
yep,
Okay.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, which is essentially Xbox Live and Game Pass combined. But what you can do right now is if you stack up to 3 years, I think, of Xbox Live, in which I did. I bought 2 years of Xbox Live to stack on top of my existing 1 year. And if you buy those 2 years and add them to your account, and then you do the $1 upgrade, it'll convert all of those years to Game Pass Ultimate. So then you'll have Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live through the next 3 years, and it's one hell of a deal.
It's fantastic. I mean, they're including the Xbox Game Pass for PC as well, which I make use of because I have a computer as well. Not a lot of huge titles on there right now, but just having that extra library thrown in for free is super awesome. So I think it's such a good deal, and it really puts Xbox at the forefront of the services discussion.
Yeah, and I mean, like games like Gears 5, when they come out, you'll be able to play that on your PC and Xbox. That stuff's awesome. The next Halo game, Halo Infinite, whenever the fuck that might be.
Forever away.
Yeah. And it's also nice to see that we're now going to be getting, I think, the Ultimate Editions of games with Game Pass. Because I know that was like a worry, because I can't remember which game it was that came out. I think it was State of Decay 2. But like me and my Game Share buddy on Xbox, we both have Game Pass. And when State of Decay came out, like, he's a big fan of it, and he's like, man, I really wish that I could get the Ultimate Edition so I can get, these skins or whatever the Ultimate Edition included. And he ended up just biting the bullet and buying it because he wanted those skins so bad. And it just, like, kind of sucks, 'cause it's like, well, you already have the game, but now you got to pay, like, $20 extra on top of the base game, so, like, an Ultimate Edition is usually $80 over $60. But I don't know. But yeah, it's a great service, and I can't wait to see more and more games come to it.
Yeah, with that Ultimate stuff, just a quick note on Gears 5, if I'm not mistaken, if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you actually get to play it 3 days early, just like the people that buy that huge Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, and that's a huge deal.
It's like, super cool.
For me, I'm a huge Gears fan. If I did not have access to the game 3 days early, I would strongly contemplate buying it just to play it that early. But who knows? And maybe I would take advantage of your GameStop policy if they do that 48-hour return.
That's very possible.
I'm sure GameStop is going to avoid those games that come out 3 days early.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, for that reason alone. But anyway, let's move on. PlayStation Plus June games, these are July, I believe. The July games. These games of the month, you can get these starting next Tuesday, I believe, July 2nd. You can get Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 and Horizon Chase Turbo. If you want either of those, feel free to download. I always pick up every one just because why not?
Yeah.
I probably never play either of these games, but it'll be nice to see that I have hundreds of games in my catalog.
There's just something weirdly satisfying about that. It's kind of like the gamer score thing on Xbox Live. It's just satisfying to see that number increase, even if it doesn't really do anything for you.
We'll get into gamer score in a little bit here when I start talking about my games. Twitch Prime, July 2019, you get Aegis Defenders, Stick Bold, 10 Second Ninja X, and
Metronomicon.
That one. And you can get free 12 months of Nintendo Online with Twitch Prime from March 28th through September 24th, and it stacks on your current non-family account. Oh man, sorry, it's early. I'm still getting these hangover burps out of me. So John, fuck, I read John's name. Connor, what have you been playing?
John's here. Weird. No. So
he's been here the whole time. He's just not saying anything.
He's real quiet. He actually lost his voice. He's just sitting in the room staring at everybody. I've been playing. Well, I recently finished What Remains of Edith Finch. It was a title that I had missed out on, and really meant to go back to, as I heard great things about it. I was a huge fan of some other walking simulators in the walking simulators in the genre, like Firewatch. Firewatch is one of my favorite games of all time. It's just a very cool, calming experience. I quite like it. The story's very well played out. And that's kind of where What Remains of Edith Finch lies. The story is definitely convoluted in this one. There's a lot going on, but you play as a young Edith Finch who returns to her childhood home years after leaving and getting out of it. The reason she returns is she finds out that her mother has died. And she receives a key in the mail that presumably opens the house, and she travels back to this house. And along the way, this house actually has rooms for each family member. And there were somewhere in the 30s or 40s of people living at this house throughout the years. It's like decades old. And it just kind of it's very fantasy, like it's not a very realistic house, and you're kind of traversing through, but as you come across different rooms, you kind of shift viewpoints or perspectives, and it turns into a different game for each person that you find. And it's got some very cool mechanics in that. Like at some point you become a cat, at another point you're a bird. It's very interesting.
You become a
did
shark.
finish it. Yeah, you become a shark as well. I did finish it. The game wasn't very long, but I do believe it's a relatively cheap game.
It's on
I
Game
think
Pass.
is it? Yeah, I think I got it for free. I played it on PC through like an Epic deal or something like that. But it was very good. I quite enjoyed what I played of it. I thought the story was well navigated for what it was, and definitely has my stamp of approval.
Yeah, I actually played it pretty recently too. I don't think I talked about it on the podcast, but John kept telling me to try it. I think it probably takes like 3 hours to beat. Around
Yeah,
there,
if you're just
3 or
chugging
4.
through, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing I really liked about it is that it's kind of like each story is almost like a dark fairy tale in a way.
Yep.
But some of them are actually pretty cool, like happy in a sense. But yeah, it is a great game. I enjoyed it. I got 1,000 gamer score in it, I believe. I went back and finished up the few achievements I had missed. But yeah, I would definitely check it out if you're into those types of games. So I going on the same path of Gamerscore, I played through Riverbond this week, which is a new game that was shown at E3 this year that is on Xbox Game Pass for free. It's kind of got like Minecraft-like graphics, but it's like a top-down Diablo-esque dungeon crawler. So I downloaded it because one of my buddies was like, yeah, download it. It's got co-op. Let's go. So I downloaded it, and then we found out there's no online multiplayer. So it's strictly local co-op. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. The art style is kind of, I don't know. It's like Minecraft, so it's kind of childlike. My girlfriend walked by and she goes, "Oh my God, you're playing Roblox?" And I was like, "Oh no." But I got 1,000 gamer score in the game, which is pretty easy to do. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I already deleted it. It's like 800 megabytes or something like that. Real small game. There's 8 levels total. There's really no replayability. But this is the game, if you saw it, I think it was part of the Kind of Funny Games showcase, where it has a bunch of different game skins in it. So like Shovel Knight's in it, the dude from Guacamelee.
Okay.
I think Mr. Krabs is in it, or I think he's called Mr. Krabby, probably because they didn't get licensing. But and then they also have, who else? They had somebody else, but I can't remember who it was. The dude from Bastion, his skin's in it.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean it was a really fun game. If you have Game Pass, check it out. It's an easy 1,000 gamer score. Just each level takes about half an hour, so it's like 4 hours to beat. But yeah, fun little game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I don't think I probably saw the trailer for that because I watched the Kind of Funny showcase, but I think I missed the release date on that one. I don't think it released, so I'll take a look at that one.
Yeah. All right. What else have you been playing?
So I've also been diving into the new expansion for Forza Horizon 4. It's the
How
Lego Speed Champions.
how is that? Because I've been on the fence about picking it up. I personally, I think that I would enjoy the Hot Wheels one much better because I played the Hot Wheels one and loved it. But how could this grab me to get me to buy it?
So I also played the Hot Wheels one. I really, really liked the Hot Wheels one, and I think that Lego Speed Champions is far better than the Hot Wheels one.
No way. I don't believe that.
Absolutely. It's
Wait,
so good.
are there like ramps and stuff?
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. So it adds a whole new area to the game. It's called like Lego Valley or something like that. It's a huge expansion, kind of similar to how the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon 3 added an island. This one is a full new area. I do believe this one's larger though. It seems like there's a lot more to do. But it adds some very cool mechanics and stuff to the game and some new challenges that kind of freshen the game up. Like, for instance, there's these new challenges called Trailblazers. It's similar to like how you would activate like a drift zone or a speed camera in the game. Trailblazers is when you drive through these two flags, it will pop flares out in the distance somewhere, and your task is basically to make it to those flares in as quick a time as possible. So it's kind of its namesake, where you're just blazing a path, and usually it features like you have to drive through some woods or like over some real rough terrain. So usually those are kind of challenging, and I've been having a ton of fun trying to beat my times in those. That said, everything in Lego Valley for the most part is Lego, or there's Legos somewhere, and nearly all of it's destructible. I mean, you can drive into certain trees, into fields of flowers that are just Lego, and it's got the super satisfying like Lego sound of bricks crashing together. There's only 3 cars, but I've heard talks of them adding a 4th that are specifically Lego, kind of similar to how they only had 2 or 3 Hot Wheels vehicles. And they're very well detailed. I mean, the headlight pieces, which are transparent, if the sun shines on them just right, you can see the serial numbers underneath them. You can see that the bricks are kind of warped a little bit. It's very, very cool. Even like the vinyls that you can put on them have edges to them, so they look like stickers instead of regular vinyls. It's very cool. So that being said, there is just a ton of stuff to do. They add all kinds of wackiness to it. Like there's Lego UFOs that are flying around, and there's like crash sites and whatnot that you can go take pictures at. There's speed ramps, kind of similar to the Hot Wheels expansion, where if you are approaching a speed ramp, you get a speed boost, and it launches you in the air, which is super, super fun. If you manage to crash your car into stuff, bricks fall off. Just a ton of stuff to do. The overarching campaign of the expansion is that you're playing to collect bricks, and those bricks allow you to upgrade your house in that area, as well as be able to get other cars or other kind of customization options for your vehicles. So there's definitely a ton to do. Definitely got my stamp of approval. The Lego vehicles are freaking awesome. Just check it out. I'm having so much fun with it. Being able to navigate these courses that just look like Lego sets that I might have built as a kid, where I'm more talented with Legos, is just super, super cool. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, I might have to look into it. I think it's on sale right now for $18.
Yeah, if you've got Game Pass, I think you
Game
get a
Pass.
discount. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Maybe I'll pick it up because I don't see how I'm gonna like this better than the Hot Wheels one, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah, maybe I'll look into it a bit more. I'll watch some videos or something on it. Because I love all the Forza games, especially the Horizon ones. They're fantastic.
yeah, I mean, I was a little concerned going into it that maybe it wouldn't be for me, because when you think about it, like Hot Wheels, obviously, there's a whole lot that comes with Hot Wheels. I mean, you've got loop de loops, you've got speed ramps, you've got all kinds of stuff going on with the Hot Wheels. As far as gameplay, Lego, I was a little concerned that there might not be as much to do or as many things to mess around with, but they did a very good job of kind of giving you a ton to do in that Lego zone. and making areas that were just interesting. Like there's even like almost a skate park for cars that has like half pipes and ramps and stuff.
Yo,
And
I'm in. The dream
cool.
for me is that somewhere down the line, Forza Horizon comes out with some sort of like map editor where you can
Oh
create
yeah.
your own thing like that. And I don't know if you ever played Rush 2 on the N64, but I've probably spent dozens of hours playing just their stunt track, which is it's essentially a skate park for cars. And it's got a bunch of ramps and like weird shapes and stuff that you can just like drive the car into, and it does flips and stuff, and you get points for it if you land it. Oh my god, that is literally my dream, is to throw that map in a modern game. Oh my god, especially like Horizon, that would be the game to have something like that too.
It's surprising that they haven't done something like that to this point.
Yeah, just give people like a giant open space, and you let them use your assets. I don't know. You know, now it just makes me want to download Dreams for PS4 and create this map.
Make it happen. That's probably possible. I've heard that game is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw an article this morning when I woke up that somebody created like a PS4 controller, but it was like hyper realistic. Like everybody thought it was like a picture of a controller, and this guy's like, "No, I made this in Dreams."
That's so cool.
Yeah. Moving on, I've been playing some more Fallout 76. Not really going to spend too much time on this. So I bought the collector's edition of the game. I finally got my bag that they promised to send me a new one. And it's the same exact bag, but canvas. So, yeah, that'll sit in a closet somewhere.
The real question is, was the quality worth the wait?
I mean, if you're somebody, I guess, because the first bag that they sent us, so my daily ritual when I go to the gym every other day when I come home from work, and my girlfriend takes a train home, so I drive home, and then usually it's like a half hour, so I get all our gym stuff, and I one day with the first bag that we got, I put all our gym stuff in that bag, like as a joke, like, I'm gonna make her fucking walk into the gym with this stupid Fallout bag. And like she took it twice, and the second day the zipper just like broke off and we could not find it. So I was like, man, people are not lying when they say this is a shitty bag. And that was like a month after the game came out when I thought to do that. And so this new bag is actually pretty high quality. I don't have any practical uses for this bag personally, but yeah, I mean the quality is definitely much nicer, so I guess it is worth the wait, especially if you're somebody that's actually going to use it for something.
Hey, I'm just glad to hear that they actually went through and made things happen for the people that were upset about it, you know?
Yeah, I think that if the game was good and successful, they probably would have never made up for the bag thing. But the fact that the game was so bad and people paid like $200 for this thing and got a shitty bag, they're like, all right, something good has to come out of this.
You're right. So now that you've said that, you said that you're playing it. What's dragged you back in? Are you just playing for any specific reason, or?
So like my game sharing buddy, he's probably playing it right now. He plays it like every day. Well, he was playing this morning, but he's not on right now. But yeah, he plays every day. One of my other buddies has been playing with him. So I mean, like when you have like, you know what I mean? Like if you have like 3 or 4 people you play Xbox with regularly. And if one of them's playing a game and you have it, you're just like, oh yeah, sure, let's try it. So I've been playing with them. I made a base and stuff. It's been fun. They just had a double XP weekend last weekend, and I was going up levels like crazy.
It's good to hear. My dad's actually been hopping into it. He's a huge Fallout fan, and he's trying to get me to jump back into it and give it a shot with him. And I've been considering it, but he's also dragged me into something else we'll talk about here in just a second.
You should try it out. The new Battle Royale mode they added is actually a lot of fun. I've been enjoying that too.
See, my problem is I just don't see. Maybe you can alleviate this concern for me, but traditionally Fallout games are known for how horribly they handle as first person shooters, and to make it like almost a competitive thing just seems really weird.
I agree. That was I was skeptical about it going into, but for some reason it works. And I don't know if it's because everybody's on the same playing field. So like everybody's bad at aiming, you know?
That's fair.
So I don't know what it is, but I enjoy playing it from time to time, but it's definitely not like when I say I'm playing Fallout 76, that's not the mode I'm playing. I'm just playing the standard mode. Going around server hopping, finding people that are dropping nukes to go gather shit. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so we have one last game on both of our lists, and if you heard us talking earlier, you probably guessed it. It's Destiny 2.
Yep.
I just bought the annual pass this past Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. It was like $15, so I was like, all right, I'll bite. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've been playing solo. I have nobody to play with, but now Connor told me he's playing.
I am absolutely playing. Oh boy, am I playing this game. Probably too much of it, I'm sure. So I played like 1,200 hours of Destiny 1 back in the day, and I got into Destiny 2 immediately and was playing it almost to the same length at the beginning, and I just kind of fell out of it. I don't know. The game kind of got in a weird place, like the feel just wasn't right. It wasn't what I wanted out of a game. I'm a pretty hardcore PvP guy, so the Crucible getting to a really poor place is kind of what killed it for me at the time. And just recently, my dad and my brother started playing. They actually started with Destiny 1, and I was like, that's tempting, but you guys should really get Destiny 2 because Destiny 1's kind of defunct. And they did, and they've been playing it, and they're loving it. And so it's been a good thing for me to be able to bond and spend time with them. We kind of jump on every morning and grind a little bit, run some strikes, maybe a nightfall here and there. They're definitely not great at it, but just being able to play with them is fantastic. And the strange thing about it is it's weirdly reignited my love for Destiny 2. I have been grinding very hard for very dumb things, like the Revoker, which is a pinnacle Crucible sniper rifle. That one's a nightmare to attain, and I'm almost there. It's weird. I will say that Destiny 2 is not perfect. It's not where it should be quite yet, but it definitely feels like it's heading there, especially following the Activision Bungie split that happened, with Bungie kind of retaining all the rights and everything. I feel weird saying it, but I'm hopeful for the future that this game is going to be exactly what I want it to be, because it is kind of in the best place it's been. I don't know if that's your experience with it. You said you just picked up the annual pass, but it feels pretty good, and I'm enjoying it. Almost hurts to say, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I personally haven't gotten into like the grinding for a certain weapon yet, just because I just picked it up, so I've been playing here and there this week. I've just been going through kind of the content that I missed, like the drifter stuff, and there's a glitch right now where you cannot, like, there's a step of the quest line where you have to bribe the spider, and it's just glitched. You cannot do it. I've looked it up online. Everybody's having the same problem. Bungie's aware of the issue, and they've been working on a fix for weeks. So you just cannot progress in that quest line, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But from what I heard, people said you don't really get anything from that quest. But still, like, as somebody who's been playing the game for a shit ton of hours, I want to get it done.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a lot of Gambit. I love Gambit. I think it's a great game.
Interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, I personally, I do love PvP stuff, so I'm down to get on some Crucible with you. So what is, like, when you grind for whatever weapon, what do you got to do? Just keep playing Crucible?
Yeah, so for the specific one that I'm working on, in the game there are these things called pinnacle weapons. Pinnacle weapons are quests that you attain from different vendors. So there's, like, Vanguard pinnacle weapons, there's Crucible pinnacle weapons, there's Gambit pinnacle weapons, usually 2 per season, or 2 added per season, not necessarily for each vendor. So for instance, like, Gambit has a pinnacle auto rifle that you can earn. The one that I'm going for is called the Revoker. It's the Crucible pinnacle sniper rifle, and most of these quests have some pretty harsh grind attached to them that you have to go through in order to actually earn this weapon. So For the Revoker, you have to get 300 kills with a sniper rifle, 50 headshot kills with a sniper rifle, and then you also need to earn 3,500 glory in the competitive playlist. The competitive playlist is 4v4, and you only earn glory by winning your matches. The amount of glory that you get from winning your matches too is like between 12 and 50, so it's not a lot of glory. So earning 3,500 glory from this,
that does not sound fun.
it's a ton. It's a grind fest. I will say that I'm playing with some buddies and absolutely loving it when I'm able to play with them, as it makes it much funner. But when playing by myself, I want to just put my head through a wall. It's frustrating, but it's the good kind of frustrating.
So approximately where are you at on this quest?
Yeah, so I am just about to wrap up the sniper kills. I think I've got like 20 of those left. I've already finished out the headshot quests, and then I think I have about 1,000 glory left to go. So a little bit of a grind, but we've been on a pretty good win streak, so I think it'll only take me a few more weeks to get there at worst.
And how do you pick up these quests?
So if you go to the associated vendor, they should have some kind of ticket card or just quest card in their inventory that you can pick up from them. It's free.
Okay.
You don't have to give anything for it. Like, for instance, Shaxx, when you walk up to him, his inventory has your Crucible quests, and then it'll have a few things below that, and then the next line, I believe, is where the pinnacle cards are. And it'll tell you what your reward is. Like, for instance, he has Revoker and Recluse are the two Crucible pinnacle weapons. If you go to Vanguard, so Zavala, he has the Oxygen SR3 and the Wendigo right now, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to like get a ton of shards or something to be able to purchase these quests. You just pick them up, but it is a grind fest to acquire them.
Yeah. This just makes me want to stop the podcast and play the game. Honestly,
I'm probably going to play after this, so.
Yeah, I probably will too. At least until my girlfriend wakes up and makes me do shit.
The bane of Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to be talking about Destiny more coming up, especially with the big DLC coming in a few months here. The new update. What is it called?
Shadowkeep.
Shadowkeep.
Very excited.
Yeah, it seems like they're changing a lot for that, so. And a lot for the better, so we'll see.
One last note on Destiny 2 as well is there was just a huge 12-hour maintenance the other day to prepare for cross-save. So they're paving the path for cross-save, where you can take your save. Basically, you select a master save that will sync with all of your linked accounts on Bungie.net. So if you're playing on Xbox and PC, you will get essentially cross-progression. You can jump back and forth between the two as much as you want. You will have to repurchase whatever you're looking to play on the platform you want to play on, which is kind of a bummer, but being able to take that anywhere is awesome, because if you have friends on PC and you want to play with them, you can do so. And it won't impede your progress on like your Xbox or your PlayStation or so on and so forth. So just a quick note on that. I think they gave a fall release date.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that, because I was kind of... I didn't really know what that meant. I thought... Personally, the way they worded it, at least during the conference, I didn't watch like I know they had a whole stream after E3 where they talked about it, but what it sounded like to me was that like you get to choose what characters you want to bring over, but then I thought that once it was done, it was done. But it's good to see that it's like cross progression, because my clan is very active on PC. Like they're semi-active, like people play here and there on Xbox, but on PC is where they mainly play now. Because a lot of people actually bought PCs to play over there. And I would love to be able to hop back in with them, but I know my characters are too low level on PC, and I mainly like playing on my Xbox, so that's really cool. And a good way for them to get more of my money by buying
absolutely
the PC edition of the updates. I know I already own the base game, but...
Same. Yeah. I'll be rebuying Shadowkeep and the annual pass, and... the nice thing about it, just to add on to it as well, is they said that moving forward, all their DLC is going to be a la carte, so it won't be you have to own everything up to that to play that. You just buy what you want to play. So if you just want to play some Shadowkeep with friends, you can just pick up Shadowkeep, and you don't have to get all that other stuff. So it's pretty cool
but at that point, it'll probably be like $20 for everything up until that point.
Actually, most of it's going free to play. So,
yeah, there
cool.
you go. All right, we've talked enough about Destiny 2. If John listens to this, he's probably ripping his hair out by now.
Oh, definitely.
Let's go on to the news. You want to take this first one?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people were kind of getting up in arms about the new Pokemon games, Sword and Shield, because Game Freak came out and said that the National Pokedex does not register essentially in these games, or rather, all of the Pokemon in the entire Pokemon universe, not all of them are available in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So before, with most mainline Pokemon games, you could transfer things with Pokemon Bank. Let's say you had some Pokemon with you, and you could kind of take them to whatever games you were looking to play. That was especially important for like the competitive scene, because they could kind of hold on to that shiny Bidoof that they've been holding on to forever and take them with them. But with the National Pokedex not traditionally being a part of this, it's a much more limited and narrow experience, and people were a little upset about it. So just recently, Game Freak's Junichi Masuda actually released a statement on the official Pokemon website, kind of directly talking about this. So I'll go ahead and read that for you. Thank you to all of our fans for caring so deeply about Pokemon. Recently, I shared the news that some Pokemon cannot be transferred to Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. I've read all of your comments and appreciate your love and passion for Pokemon. Just like all of you, we are passionate about Pokemon, and each and every one of them is very important to us. After so many years of developing the Pokemon video games, this was a very difficult decision for me. I'd like to make one thing clear. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Sword and Shield, that does not mean it will not appear in future games. The world of Pokemon continues to evolve. The Galar region offers new Pokemon to encounter, trainers to battle, and adventures to embark on. We are pouring our hearts into these games, and we hope you will look forward to joining us on this new journey. So basically, that's them just doubling down and saying, hey, you know, we understand you're upset, but we have no plans to change it at this time. This is the way that we plan to do this, and you know, we hope you're going to try our stuff out anyway. So,
and you know, everybody's still going to play it.
Absolutely.
It's just like, it's sad. You know what I mean? Like, in the game world, it would make sense to allow people to do that, because it's like, oh, maybe those Pokemon aren't available in this region, but this guy came from, you know, a different region, and now he has, you say, Charizard, you know, something weird that might not be available there.
Right. And, you know, I think personally, as somebody who plays Pokemon games relatively casually, I don't really see the problem with this. Yes, it's a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, you know, they have to draw the line somewhere, because we're at the point where there's about 800 Pokemon with this new region, and that's just a lot of Pokemon. They're kind of pushing for more of a 3D aesthetic with these games, and if people want them to get there, like, we've got to cut some off. There's no way they can spend all that time animating every single Pokemon with battle moves and stuff, you know?
Yeah, because if people are going to keep wanting, like, 100+ new Pokemon every, you know, generation, like, there has to be a point when they're like, all right, then we got to cut, you know, maybe, like, Farfetch'd, you know, some of the lesser, you know, like, Pokemon that don't evolve into anything special.
Right.
You know, they got to, like, cut some off at some point. Especially, I imagine it's probably a challenge in terms of, like, hardware and stuff, too. Like, how big is your game going to get if you have all of these Pokemon?
Yeah, it's a lot of data files.
Especially the fact that they're going to, like, a more 3D style of a game now. As opposed to, like, the, you know, the 2.5-ish D, I guess, on the DS. 3DS. But yeah, this is, it's kind of sad, but like I said, I understand it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think really the thing to remember here is that you know, Game Freak has been doing this a really long time, and I'm positive that Game Freak has the best interest of Pokemon at heart, and at some point you just get tired of doing the same Pokemon over and over, and this kind of frees them up to, instead of having, you know, maybe 100 new Pokemon per generation, maybe we get 200, maybe we get a region with all new Pokemon that we've never seen before that are that's it. Like, you don't get old Pokemon or something, and maybe somewhere down the line they have like a bigger Pokemon game that has everything or something. I don't know, but I imagine that Game Freak is looking to kind of branch out and try some new stuff, and if they're always having to drag the old stuff behind with them, it's very limiting. So I think this game, I'm sure, will be a fine game, and people should just give it a chance and not worry so much about the National Pokedex.
I'd imagine that as long as they keep like this new art style, if they keep this for years and years, they're just gonna keep adding the same Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're gonna keep the Pokemon, but just add more to that, which would make sense because like they probably wouldn't have to reprogram much to bring them over to the newer games. Because they already have all the animations down for this art style. So I'd imagine that was a big challenge as well.
That seems to be the way that they handled most of the 3DS generation Pokemon, so I would imagine you're right on that. That being said, I think that wraps up Pokemon quite well and fine. Why don't you go ahead and take the next one, Joel? I think this is
thought
one
you wanted
that
to talk about this.
you might be an expert on, maybe. I don't know. Tell us what's going on in The Sims.
So if you really, really want to play The Sims, all right, let's just cut to it. If you really want to open a semen cafe in The Sims, you can. This article comes from Kotaku. Kate Gray writes, "There's a lot of potential in the mod scene that surrounds The Sims 4. You can tell your Sims not to wash their dishes next to the toilet, give them outfits that don't suck like the base games ones do, or just make them get naked and have orgies. This week, I tried something a little different. Content warning."
I think that's implied.
Yeah, content warning, blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
Modders are weird, man. People make weird stuff.
You can open a semen cafe, which is essentially just a bunch of cups full of semen, and there's pictures on this article where they took screenshots. You can set a cup of semen for sale. You can clean up the semen. You can put it in your inventory, and you can even drink gross cum.
I just why is the question?
Who the fuck? Who? Oh my god! I would love to hear a response video from. Oh my god! I see. Oh my god! If you scroll down, there's pictures of the orgies.
Yeah, I saw. This is exactly
down.
why they put out a million different expansions for Sims games traditionally, because they don't want you to get bored and make shit like this. They want you to stop. This is weird. You people need some kind of religion that keeps you from doing this, or not. If you want to open a semen cafe, you can do it. I guess nobody's stopping you, but maybe you should stop you. Maybe that's the answer here. Maybe you should be the one to stop you.
I mean, you gotta respect the creativity, though, right? Somebody took a lot of time to make this fucking mod.
You're absolutely right. And I'm going to say that I'm more concerned for that person than anything else.
So I think that it's worth noting that the Pixel Street podcast, they don't approve of you, but they respect you.
Yeah, I respect the hustle. Absolutely. You're just hustling on some weird shit.
Also, how long do you think this mod's been out? And then finally this guy's like, finally, somebody gets me.
Probably too long is the answer. I don't even know. I don't have words, I guess if you really, really are running out of stuff to play in Sims 4 and you're looking for more crap, then this person made you content. They made things for you to do. Yeah.
All right. I'll take the next one because the last one it seemed like you wanted to talk about a lot.
Sure.
So Game Informer, Emma Welch Murphy writes, EA Access PlayStation 4 release date announced. The EA Access subscription service is counting down the seconds for its PlayStation 4 release on July 24th. EA Access is allowing subscribers to play early trials, offers a 10% discount on all EA titles, and gives you over 50 games to play right away, including Dragon Age Inquisition and Mass Effect Andromeda. Some Vault games available on PC may not be available for PlayStation 4. You can choose to set up an account for $4.99 per month or $29.99 a year. EA Access is currently available for the PC and Xbox One. Yeah. So this is awesome. I'm glad that it's finally coming to PS4. I personally won't do anything with it on my PS4 because I mainly play on Xbox. But I'm glad that it's finally making its way over for those players. It for a long time this was like the one thing a lot of Xbox fanboys were holding on. When I saw like console wars on Twitter, but now they really all they have is Game Pass to hold back on, which is still an amazing service.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta feel like this kind of paved the path for them to get Game Pass out there. You know, I feel like EA probably wouldn't have been very happy with them opening their own subscription service on the same platform. I assume there was some backdoor deals there going on. I think mostly though, I'm just surprised that this didn't come to PlayStation sooner.
Yeah.
You know, it's a decent deal for what it is if you're a big fan of EA games. Like you said, I don't think that I will be partaking in it just because Game Pass gives me so much to play already. And I personally don't find the EA catalog that alluring these days. To have another subscription on top of Netflix, Hulu, and you know all that other stuff. So yeah, I mean it's good for the people that want it. It's about time, and you know that's where it's at.
The another thing is I think it's possible that maybe Microsoft had paid EA, for the exclusive rights to this.
Yeah.
For so many years, and it paid off for them because that was a huge selling point for a lot of people. But I also think that the PC version of EA Access is probably better.
Yeah, definitely.
In the sense that I think you pay like 100 or 120 for a year for EA Access, or it's called EA Origin Premier.
Yes.
And you actually get every EA game that comes out the day it comes out, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's
whereas EA
pretty
Access just
deal.
gives you like 4 days early or something, or you get a 10-hour trial before the game comes out, 4 days before it comes out. But yeah, I think that the Origin, I hope that they bring that model someday to Xbox and PS4, because I would definitely probably pay the 120 because I love sports games, and I'd love to play the new version the day it comes out as opposed to waiting for it to come to EA Access 6 months later.
Especially without having to spend $60 every year to get in on the ground floor,
Yeah, because like I said, $120 a year, as long as you play 2 of those games, then it's paid for.
You can play Anthem.
You could play Anthem. I don't know if that's a good thing, or I think that's something that they should just hold back from saying.
Maybe just not talk about that part.
It's really not a selling point right now, or probably ever, the way it's seeming.
Yeah,
it seems like they're really backing away from it a little bit.
I'm very sad about that still. Jeez.
The thing about Anthem too is I remember playing the beta, and the person I had shared game share with, he was like all jazzed about it, and like I was kind of excited, but I wasn't really, because I was kind of on the fence because I was like, well, I don't really know what it is. And we played the beta, and I was like, yeah, like flying around is fun. And he was like, oh no, this is awesome, you can do this and this. It's like, yeah, flying around is fun, but like I don't see much here.
Yeah, it's just a shell.
The game came out, and I played through the story, and I wanted so much more from the story. And yeah, I don't know. It just fell very short of what we wanted, I guess.
Hey, maybe EA Access gives it another life, as a subscription service model or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. I have a list up of hours played for Destiny 2 on my friends list. The number one person on my friends list has played 122 days, 17 hours, and 16 minutes of Destiny 2.
That is a lot of Destiny 2. I'm sure I'm not that far up there, but I probably have a big one. I'll see if I can't pull that number by the end of the podcast here.
So this dude has like 3,000 hours played. That's insane. All right.
That's a lot.
Go ahead and take the next article.
Yeah, so this next one has got some interesting stuff going on. So you might remember that the creator of PUBG, PlayerUnknown himself, actually has stepped away from the development of PUBG and has headed up his development studio, or publishing studio rather, called PUBG Corp, or Corporation rather. And there's some news finally coming out of there since he stepped over. So just jump right into it. Basically, they have brought in a new team. They're starting up a new team, and they're calling the studio Striking Distance. The interesting stuff about this is that the new studio will be headed by none other than Glenn Schofield. Glenn Schofield, you might remember, is ex-Sledgehammer fame. So he did work on Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, and some of the other Call of Duties as a support team. But more notably, you might remember him for the Dead Space games, which were, I heard, kind of liked by some people. So
I never played them.
You know, they're horror games. They are what they are. Yeah, I mean, there's clearly some talent there. This guy's done some cool stuff, and now this new studio that he's heading up, Striking Distance, they're currently staffing up to create. Let me pull the direct quote here. We're working together to build the studio from the ground up so we can begin crafting an original narrative experience in the PUBG universe. So they're looking to add some kind of story content or something to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is honestly not the news that I thought we were going to get out of that. But, you know, I think it's the news that I didn't know that I wanted. Having a PUBG single player sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool because I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Because if you think about it, PUBG is the one BR that is just eerie at all times. It's not like Call of Duty when that came out. You could, you know, I felt like I could just run around, you know, like willy-nilly. But PUBG, for some reason, it terrifies me.
Yeah.
Because like somebody could come from anywhere and they could really play with that a lot in terms of a story. Like maybe you're, I don't know, you're being hunted by a bunch of people, you know. Maybe everybody's against you and you're trying to figure out why that is or something. I don't know. There's just a lot that could come out of a story from this game.
Yeah, you know, I never even considered the fact that they could do something more with the PUBG franchise, really, especially even when PlayerUnknown himself, you know, said that he's making PUBG Core. I was like, I don't know that naming it after that game is the right call, but if they plan to do more stuff with that universe, then heck yeah, I'm all in. You know, the game is in a much better playable state than it was, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the game is got this level of intense, almost nerve-wracking, terrifying, you know, moment-to-moment experience. Like, I don't know how it does it, but it's the only battle royale I've ever played where every time I'm in the top 10, it feels like an anxiety attack. Like it's just some next level shit, and I would love to see them do some cool stuff with it. So, guess we'll look out for that. No dates or anything, just the fact that they announced it, and Glenn Schofield's heading up the studio. That's about it for this one. But yeah, I mean, if you're down to try it sometime, PUBG again, I'm down to give it a few matches and see if I can get back into it. But I am 100% considering it at this point. It's been a while since I played, but I think we're definitely due for a few matches. All right. Well, with that ends the Pixel Street podcast. Connor, I have your time played in Destiny 2. You want to take a guess? How many days? 40. No, about half of that. You're at 21 days, 8 hours, and 32 minutes. That's crazy. I've played 8 days, 19 hours, and 34 minutes. So still significantly more than you then. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. All right, well, that ends the Pixel Street podcast, episode 65. As always, I'm Joel Campos. You can follow me on Twitter at Campos63. Check out my Mixer, mixer.com/Campos63. Check out our podcast Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. Facebook page by searching Pixel Street Podcast. Connor, where can we find you? Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at The Real Birch. That's Birch without an I. I'm also on Mixer by Birch, again without the I. And yeah, that's where you can find me. Keep up with me. I post all kinds of silly and dumb shit. That's all I got for you. All right. Well, we will see you right here next week for episode 66 of the Pixel Street Podcast. Hopefully with all three of us this time.
Hopefully. No promises. Because it seems like John is just moving. It seems like he's finishing his move. I'm going to be moving here pretty soon, so it's going to be a hectic month.
You know, he's just mad at us for playing Destiny. Every time we utter those words, he just kind of convulses.
Yeah. Well, we will see you here next week. Bye.
Cheers.